Hey y'all, my name is Mick. Thank you so much for watching this video. There is not going to be a speed paint version because this is a new series where I'm not doing that. Just gonna see how this goes. So for this series, I'm going to be doing the 100 color palette challenge. This was originally made by Fallen Zephyr on DeviantArt. They have since deleted their 100 color palette post because they were getting harassed about it because the internet is a horrible hellscape, but you can find it if you just Google 100 color palette challenge. Um, so I know that the original challenge isn't really like how I'm doing it. It was one of those send me a character and a number and I'll draw that character in that color palette. But I wanted to switch it up a bit. I've seen some other people on YouTube doing the color palette challenge, and some of them are doing what I'm doing, some of them are doing it like the original challenge was about, but basically I want to go through every single color palette and draw something for that color palette, and I'll get into it later. But I wanted to make this series on YouTube and not just, as personal work and uploading speed paints occasionally. I wanted to do commentaries for it because I've seen some people do this on YouTube, but I haven't seen anyone finish it. The furthest I've seen anyone get was like 20 palettes, and most stop around 5. And granted, I don't blame them at all because I did the math, and if I do one a month, it'll take me 8 years to do this, and if I do one a week, it'll still take me 2 years, and I don't plan on doing one a week. I'm right now aiming for one a month, so catch me in 8 years when this series is done. But I want to start a big project and finish it, and it'll take a long time for me to do that, but it's nice to have something on this channel other than just commentary paints. So what I want to do for this challenge is to make 2 images for every palette. One is a portrait, which you can see me making now in this video, and one is a background scenery type thing because I always do portraits. I've done portraits in palette challenges before. They're on my channel, you can watch them. But I don't do backgrounds nearly as much as I should, because I don't like backgrounds, but I'm starting a comic soon, so I need to be able to do backgrounds, and it's kind of late for me to be, starting to learn when I'm about to start making this comic, but, better late than never, I guess. So this is going to give me a chance to experiment with art styles and, just not just art styles, but like for this piece, I was really experimenting with lighting and a new way of sketching, which you can sort of see my sketch occasionally throughout the speed paint where I make it visible, but it's way different than a normal sketch that I would do. So I was just, trying to make things faster. It'll be a good series for me to experiment with the way that I make art. So I just wanted to say that I'm not taking requests for this series. I know that that is what the original challenge was about. Send me a character. That is what the 100 color palette challenge is. But that is not what I'm doing because I don't really want these pieces to be fan art or even art of my original characters. I sort of want them all to be like their own self-contained little worlds. I may use them as portfolio pieces, or I may make some sort of project out of them in the future. Probably not, but it's on the table, it's a possibility. But for that reason, I'm not taking requests for these, so don't ask me. My requests are closed. So I wanted to explain this drawing. I wanted these two pieces to be connected just for this first palette. I don't think I'll do this every week, but I sort of wanted them to be very Will-O-the-Wisp inspired, or they're just called Will-O-Wisps here. So in the landscape, which you'll see in a second, I included a bunch of them, even though I know technically it should just be one. But I looked at this palette and I couldn't get the image out of my head of like a forest at nighttime, and I thought that incorporating these, floating little yellow balls of light would be a good way of incorporating the orange and yellow and pink, because I really wanted it to be mostly analogous with these strong complementary colors. I, I approach palette challenges a bit differently than other people I know. This isn't really how the challenges are supposed to go, but I think it's fine. You know, I'm still using every color from the palette. I'm not using extra colors. It's just I don't use them all equally, which some people think is what you're supposed to do. Which maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not one to say. So I wanted these two pieces to be connected, so I made this girl like holding a will-o-wisp because I remember vaguely stories about like fairies being like the ones holding these lanterns, and that's what a will-o-wisp is. And I look it up, and apparently that's only sometimes it in certain stories about them. And so maybe she's like a fairy who's holding the will-o-wisp, or maybe she's someone who was like drawn in by them. I don't know. I just sort of just wanted them to be thematically similar and visually similar. I think in the future it'll be interesting how different these palettes can get between the two images because like I said, I went all purple for this and I could have gone all yellow, and I've seen some people use this exact palette and make the pink their primary color and just use the purple and yellow as shading and highlighting. And so I think it'll be really interesting in the future to experiment with that, play around with that, and have these two images that look completely different because they're using different colors as their primary colors, but still be using the same color palette. So although these two are connected, future pieces may be intentionally different, and I may experiment with art styles and the like. So my plan for this series of commentaries is not to script it. This is unscripted, don't know if you could tell, but just to sort of ramble on about whatever topic I want, and even not to edit it very much, which is why this is going to be so rough because I'm not going back and re-recording anything. This is just all straight from the mind space, through my vocal cords and into your ear holes, and I'm so sorry about that. All of the words that I'm saying. I just I don't have the time to be scripting these videos, and I don't have the time to be editing them either. If I'm making one commentary van a week, which is my goal now, I want to make them every Monday. I've worked it out. I've done it for the last 2 weeks. I can fit it into my schedule if I do it every Monday. So, but I can't also be making these videos. Basically, is what I've worked out. I don't have the time to be doing that unless I just record this commentary or this voiceover. Let's keep these series separate and not get confused. Unless I record these voiceovers completely separately, just on their own, and editing them basically not at all. So I think these videos could be used to like talk shop with y'all about what I'm doing with the channel and what I'm doing in my personal life that would affect the channel. So like I said, I'm doing commentary paints weekly now. That's a thing. Mark your calendars every Monday. I'm also, as I said earlier, going to be starting a comic next week. It's not a webcomic, so don't expect me to be doing updates. I'll release the whole thing when it's done, but it's like just a single issue, and it's a story I wrote like a year and a half ago that I just recently decided I wanted to turn into a comic. And if you know me personally or you follow me on certain social medias, you may have seen me talking about it because I've been planning it for quite a while now. So that's what I'm doing starting next week. I won't be able to do as many miscellaneous speed paints. I'm not sure I'll be able to do this for at least a month, as I said earlier. But I also am not sure I'll be able to do the weekly speed paints that aren't for commentaries. Like last week, maybe the week before, I don't even remember anymore. I did my Marcia Overstrand speed paint for a commentary paint, but earlier in the week I released a speed paint of Jenna Heap. So I don't think I'll be able to do stuff like that for a bit, just because all of my time will be focused on making this comic, because I'm working it out this week, so I'm starting next week. This week I'm taking extra focus on my art schedule and looking at how much space I need to allocate towards doing stuff like commissions, because another channel update, my commissions are open again. Doing stuff like commissions or painting speed paints for weekly commentary paints, and how much time I can use to be doing not that. And all of that not that time will go to my comic so that I can finish it, fast as possible. I don't want to be working on this for years and years and years. I can also start talking about my personal life and answer any questions that y'all have, whether they be about me personally or about drawing advice or just whatever random shit y'all can come up with, because my Commentary Paint series is really about art advice, and, you know, that's very limiting, and I have a lot more to say, and if y'all have more that you want to hear, I can talk about it in these videos, maybe give little tutorials and make a piece focusing on whatever it is y'all want me to talk about, you know? I'm happy to do that. Happy to interact with y'all. So you can see in this video that I am wrapping it up real quick, so I will wrap up this commentary just by saying, hey, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting. This is a new endeavor, and let me know what y'all think about it. I'm gonna finish it whether or not you like it, so your opinion doesn't really matter to me, but I'm happy to hear it anyway, and I'll pretend like it affects my decision making. But my decision is and will be that I'm going to finish this series. I promise you this. It'll probably take me years and years and years, but I will finish it. So, thank y'all so much for watching. I will see you in my next video on Monday on a regular schedule. Bye!